So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever and whoever you are. This is Amaka, and I am the host and the moderator of this meeting, the Speech Anxiety Masters, or SAM, the world's only speech club that enables persons who stutter to become fluent. SAM is sponsored by StopStutter, the world's only community of ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. StopStutter is dedicated to the cause of removing stuttering and speech anxieties from the planet by using the neuroscience method to stop stuttering, which is based on neuroplasticity or the brain's ability to change itself. And it was created and continuously expanded by Lee Lovett and StopStutter. We support all legal and moral methods that work, but these meetings will focus only on our neuroscience method. The neuroscience method is based upon retraining the mind to overcome old stuttering memories with new fluency memories. This is achieved by joining our program, practicing its methods, and obtaining speech therapy provided by certified stuttering specialists who are ex-stutterers themselves. The most important single method that we teach is this. All PWS must hold the tone through all words as they speak. Our goals are to stop stuttering, to teach ourselves to love to speak in all situations, to elevate our lives through mind training, to improve our mental health, and to provide a support community of ex-stutterers to help persons who stutter achieve and maintain fluency, which is defined as speaking in all situations without appearing to be a person who stutters. Our rules: no one is required to say anything, but everyone is encouraged to speak, including those who stutter on every word. Before speaking, please tap the raise your hand button and be recognized by the moderator. That's myself. If you do not wish to speak, please feel free to post a chat to everyone or to any individual, including the host. That's me again. No one is required to reply to chats. Do not say anything that you would not be pleased for your parents or children to hear you say. And finally, please turn on your mute button and keep your microphone muted until you are called upon to speak. Be advised that these meetings are recorded and may be shown in whole or in parts by StopStutter on its website or elsewhere. Before we start, please click on the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of your square and insert your first name followed by hyphen and your country. Last names are not needed. Everyone wants to know what to call you and where you live. Do not miss the last 10 minutes of the meeting when Coach Lee gives a wrap up and his tips for the week. To stay on schedule, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We will cut off the comments. We will cut off all comments at 12:50 p.m. Eastern Time. As such, please do not be offended if the time remaining does not allow me to call you. Okay, so our speaker for today, I believe, is everyone's favorite. I've had, my own personal experience with him, and I just love this speaker. And a couple of months ago, he had his Sam Talk, and which was amazing, by the way. And today, he's here to give us an update on his stutter and his fluency journey and all the amazing things that we know he's been up to. He has also mentioned to us that he couldn't even register for the university, and he needed his mother to do that for him. And today, he has won so many awards at Toastmasters. That is amazing. And we cannot wait to hear. I'm having goosebumps already to hear what he has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Antonio in the building. Antonio, the floor is yours.
Well, Maka, that was fantastic. Thank you. You are making me emotional before I start. WSSA family, it's so good to be back. The last time that I stood here, I told you about my journey to freedom. The boy who noticed at 4 that he did not speak like the other children. The boy who was mocked, who grew ashamed, who built a wall around himself and learned to hide. Sometimes by saying nothing at all, sometimes by swapping one word for another, sometimes by telling people his name was John. I also told you that I was working on my fear. And about fear, I want to talk tonight. For me, and maybe for some of you, the hardest part was never learning the crutches. It was giving myself permission to use them out loud, in front of people, without holding back. It is one thing to practice a crutch alone in your room, and another thing entirely to use that same crutch when the room is full, when your heart is pounding, and that old voice whispers, "Don't use your crutches. They will think you are different. Just force the word out. the way you always have. And for a long time, I listened to that voice. Well, my friends, today I am going to look at that fear in the face. I am going to use all my crutches, every one of them, openly, right through this presentation. Let's start with crutch 4. Inserting words or sounds. In January, I left you with 3 promises. To eliminate fear, to love myself fully, and to help as many people as I can. I also left you with my own affirmation. I love speaking and using all my crutches. Saying those words felt wonderful, but I learned that one thing is to say it to myself, and another very different thing is to really convince my mind of that. Convince my mind that I love speaking in all situations. When under pressure, when it actually counts. And that has been the challenge. Next, I am going to tell you how I have challenged myself. I am gonna do it using crutch 7. The very first time I hosted a SAM meeting, it was a very enjoyable experience. But I did not give myself permission to use my crutches freely. However, the second one I hosted, you can watch it. I did not hold back. Crutch 8 now. I remember I use every single crutch openly, in front of everyone, without dreading it, enjoying the experience. The very thing I once feared had become a place of joy. With regards to coaching, I will continue coaching for as long as I am able. Because there is nothing like watching someone realize for the first time that they are not broken. Let's use my favorite crutch now, crutch number 9. In January, I told you about my Toastmasters experience. I told you that I had won 3 awards. Since then, I have won 4 more awards, 7 now in total. And I have now taken on every single role on the floor in both of my clubs. Toastmaster, prepare speeches, prepare speech evaluator, table topics speaker, table topics master, grammarian, word master, timer, a counter, general evaluator, jokes master, every one of them. I am not going to lie. I felt the fear before every single one of the roles, but they were my ladder. And one by one, I climbed them all. Let's do some linking now. As Pathusha told me once, 4 ways to do this one. And I will do the Simpson voice. And now we are planning something new, something close to my heart. AWSSA Toastmasters Simulation Club, which I will coordinate. A place built for this family, and where every one of you will have the opportunity to continue climbing your fluency ladder. Now, I think that the next part of my presentation today is a good opportunity to use Scratch 11. Well, speaking like a king. Guys, I want to share some messages that I hope you find helpful in your fluency journey. These messages go to those who are still afraid of showing the world the great communicators we can all become. If I did it, trust me, you can too. Maybe some of you came tonight and find it difficult to speak in front of groups. Maybe you find your name difficult to say, and you tell people a different name, as I used to do. Maybe you know the crutches, you know exactly what to do, but in the moment, you don't use them. I see you. I was you. Remember that even these days, on my most difficult days, I feel exactly like you. Now back to my favorite crutch 9. My friends, hear me out. Your crutches are your tools. Use them in the meeting room, with your friends, in the grocery shop. Use them everywhere. Use them in the exact moment your heart is racing. And that old voice tells you to stay quiet, because that is the moment you need them most. Your crutches are not a weakness. They are your voice. Use your techniques, all of them, openly, proudly, without apology. And let's finish my presentation using the very tool that, if mastered, is one of the most helpful things available to anyone, including PWSS. Poses. Back to my 3 promises. Fear, self-love, and help people. I have not eliminated fear, but I no longer let it choose my words. I am learning more every day to love the man I am. I am no longer hiding. I am no longer ashamed. And helping people, as I said 1 year ago, is still my biggest motivation. So I will leave you today the way I did back in January, with my number 1 affirmation, which I mean more than ever. I love speaking and using all my crutches. I don't need to rush. My voice, my pace, my power. I love you all.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Amaka,
Oh my God.
Amaka,
Coach Lee,
before you go to
yes,
the group, can I say a couple of things?
go for it,
Uh,
please.
First, I agree with you. It's a great talk. Both the substance and the delivery was terrific. But there are three things I want to say. One, Antonio, you mentioned fear. Fear will die. Everything is a question of habits. The more you speak successfully, as you did today, and as you are doing most, if not every minute of the day right now, the more you do that, the less fear you're going to have. And eventually, you're going to teach yourself to love to speak because it's fun to speak, and you're a good speaker, and you proved it today, and you can do it anywhere, anytime with anybody. And you're going to accept that eventually. And when you do, the fear is going to die. Second, this is a cosmetic. The background that you used is very pretty, but it's very distracting. It blacks out half of your face. Do not use backgrounds when you talk that distract from your face. Look at Cindy's background, or Paul's, or Scott's, or Dawn's. Or these backgrounds do not distract from the speaker. Yours definitely is a distraction. Third thing, not using the crutches. You do have a favorite crutch, and you can have two or three if you like. And any time that you feel like you're not using the crutches enough, just go to your favorite or your favorites. You can do that. And I think when you begin with a sound, you begin with and that's fine. But I think is less noticeable. My name is Lee. How are you doing today? Will you pass the butter? I think is less noticeable than
Mhm.
So those are my three comments. Great job. Great job. I'm proud of you. Amaka, back to you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Lee, for your words. Antonio, what a terrific speech. Terrific. It was so, I'm sure everyone knows how great and powerful this was. And even you speaking to us is such a motivation, and we really appreciate you. Okay, so we're going to go to questions and comments. But before we do that, let me make my own comments. I was initially going to ask you in front of everyone today if you can host a special event on public speaking and presentations and Toastmasters, and you answered that without me even asking. And I would like to appreciate you for um, offering to host this special event. And I'm sure a lot of us are looking forward to that. Thank you again for your assistance with that. So the first person I can see on my screen is Mr. Ron from the United States. Go ahead, Mr. Ron.
Thank you, Antonio. Awesome job. Awesome job about facing your fears. 100% go along with that. Since I've joined the program and faced my fears, I have spoken to classes of speech language pathologists. I have been on podcasts. I have no fear of speaking anymore. And I didn't start that way, but I am now. And it absolutely works. Antonio, also, I've heard you talk in the past about, and something I've admired is your work ethic. I remember, so many times we hear people say, well, I don't have time to practice. I don't have time, I'm busy. But we all have 24 hours a day. We all tend to do the things that are most important to us. So, what advice do you have to someone who says, I just don't have time, or they try and they don't make the time?
All right. Thank you, Ron. The thing that I would say to anybody who tells me that they don't have the time, what I would say is stop lying to yourself. I am 50 years old, and if there is something that life has taught me, is that if you want something, you go and do it. Mm. So whenever someone tells me I don't have the time, well, what you are telling me in reality is that you don't want this. Mm. And the very reason why I am very well known for being very disciplined, work ethic, and all that kind of things is because I want this. I don't want to stutter uncontrollably, right? Mm-hmm. I suffered a lot in the past. So that is what I would answer to anybody telling me that they don't have the time. Thank you, Ron, for your comments.
Right. And I completely agree. How bad do you want to stop stuttering? Even if you don't have the time in your everyday life, in talking to your friends, your family, use the crutch there and then. That is it. You have no excuse whatsoever not to use your crutches if you really want to stop stuttering. Thank you, Antonio, and thank you, Mr. Ron. Up next is Cindy from Arizona.
Thank you, Amaka. Wonderful job hostessing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Antonio, you have been such an incredible speech mate and mentor to so many of us. You are truly a champion of speaking slowly, using your stops, and speaking with confidence. And now a gold star at Toastmasters too. Wow, wow, wow. You are amazing. You are one of the most determined persons that I know. As Ron said, no one worked harder. Stuttering's not easy to kick, but you worked it all the time. What I do want to talk to you about is I kicked stuttering when I was already retired. So I never got to go back to work and use my new skills as a PWSS. So what I want to know is, how has your work life changed or been enhanced, as you said, with looking your fear in the face and using crutches openly? How has your work life changed? Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Cindy. Always so kind. Well, it is all about fear, isn't it? Now, when I wasn't determined to use my crutches, there was a big thing behind it, which is fear, right? So at the beginning, I am not gonna lie, I did find it hard to use my, like, say I wanted to use extreme pronunciation in front of my boss, right? I couldn't do it because I was thinking about what he was thinking about me. But as I grew as a speaker, as my confidence grew, and as I started to believe in what I am doing, I said, well, he may be my boss, the boss of my job, but not the boss of my life. I am the boss of my life. And I decide how I speak, whether I pause or I don't, or how fast or slow I speak, I do. So I would say to anybody is you need to have that mentality, that strength to really not care about what people think about you, because this is your voice. This is your life. That is what I would say, Cindy.
Well, thank you so much, Antonio. And it was almost as if you were speaking to me, because each time I speak with my boss to have a meeting, I always think, what is she going to say now about my speech, about my stutter? So I completely agree. And thank you for the wonderful response that you've given. And Cindy, thank you for your question. So up next is Dong from San Francisco. Okay, Dong.
Thank you, Chamaga, and you're doing a great job as a host.
Thank you.
Antonio, that was a very impressive speech. I loved your first speech. It was very emotional and personal, and your second speech builds upon the first by explaining that you had to give yourself the permission to use your crutches. I think the fear of being perceived different in using the crutches is definitely one of the factors where a lot of people don't use their crutches. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, you have to be the boss of your own life. And you have to want fluency bad enough that you were willing to take the risk and using the crutches in situations where they might not be, they might not come naturally. And I'm so impressed by the awards and different official roles that you take at Toastmasters. I've done Toastmasters in the past, and I recommend all of my students do as well, but no one has done it with a kind of mastery and also the public recognition that you have. So congratulations again. And yeah, finally, I'd say great speech, great use, great review and crash course of all the crutches, in this program. And that kind of just inspires all of us to go ahead and use crutches in every situation for our fluency to thrive. Thank you.
Amaka, can I say one thing about Dong?
Go ahead.
Dong, your speech is wonderful. And as I've told you many times, you've got one of the greatest speaking voices I've ever heard. You're a made-to-order public speaker, man. You should be riding a wave and taking advantage of it, because you are good and you can be even better, man. So keep doing it.
Thank you, Coach Lee.
Thank you, Coach Lee. Antonio?
Yeah, so what I want to say is that there should be a rule, and this is a message for Lee Lovett. Lee, Coach Lee, listen to this. There should be a rule in WSSA for everybody here to join Toastmasters. because it is not only about public speaking, it is also about confidence. And Toastmasters gives you that confidence. And that is what I wanted to say.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. Toastmasters would definitely grow your level of confidence. And of course, speaking in front of people, especially someone who has a stutter. So I would encourage everyone, no matter how uncomfortable it will be, because it will be, you have to be consistently attending and speaking, because that is how you grow. Speaking while using your crutches, of course. Thank you, Antonio and Dong. Thank you for the question. Oh, your feedback. Scott from Michigan. Hi. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Antonio, for your message. I really appreciate it. I when I think of the 1, 2, 3 punch, I would say that the crutches aspect of that 1, 2, 3 punch, I've had a little bit. I've had the most difficulty with. The reading out loud and the what are they? They are positive affirmations, mind training. That
Yep.
those that those have come a little bit more naturally to me, and so I'm so thank you for this talk about the crutches, and so there are I know that, like, right now I'm trying to modify my voice, modulate my voice to make it lower, and that's been helpful oftentimes, and then I try to focus on my pronunciation as another crutch, and then recently I've started to work on crutch 4 of inserting a sound and a word in the beginning, and so just do you have any thoughts about those 3 crutches, and also about how to navigate mentally which crutches to use in real life? Thank you.
Sure. Right. So first of all, thank you, Scott. Right. With regard to affirmation, my experience is that it is key, at least it was for me, to use affirmations that you believe in.
Mhm.
Because if I say to myself, you know, I am very tall, very tall, very tall, but I am not really very tall, I am not gonna believe it, right?
Right.
So you need to believe that it is possible for you to reach, you know, whatever your affirmation is all about. Like when I did it, I knew deep inside me that I could become a great communicator. Because if I can speak in situation A, but not in situation B, the problem is not with my vocal cord, it is in here, right?
Absolutely.
So I use affirmations that I believed in. That is the first thing. The second thing is with regard to you know, getting good at using the crutches and your speech plan. And I have to say that what I did is to use them everywhere. And I mean, what I also want to say is that many people will be able to confirm this. I was attending every single practice session. So I was totally immersed in the crutches world. So my message for you, Scott, is come to my practice sessions because I have never seen you there. You need to come, right? So all I'm trying to say is that if you really want it, you really need to get into it properly. That is what I would say.
Okay. And thank you so much, Antonio.
Amaka,
Another thing, sure, Mr. Coach Lee, please go
I'm
ahead.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. Antonio just hit on what is perhaps the most important point in our program. That's one of the reasons I wrote the book. And that is when he said, no, if he says he's tall when he's actually short, he won't believe it. And similarly, if he says he's fluent when he doesn't believe it, he won't do it. And of course, he's correct. But Antonio, if you look at the cover of all my books that I've written on stuttering, right on the cover, I say, if I can say one word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word, anywhere, anytime. And that is the truth. And it's logic. And you know it is. And so does everyone here. So I say to you, when the demon stuttering says, "Oh, you don't believe it," that's nonsense. You had a bad habit. Fine. Everyone does. It's not a crime. You're going to beat it. You can beat it. You will beat it. Everyone here is beating it. Thousands of people have read my books and beaten it. And I'm no genius. I can explain what I know how to do. That's all I can do. But God bless you. You're on the right track. And keep believing in yourself because there will never be a word that you can't say anywhere, anytime to anybody. And you'll say it well.
Thank you,
Back
Lee.
to you, Marka.
Well, Coach Lee, thank you so much. In addition to what everyone has said, I also wanted to add that if you have a specialized speech plan that has been given to you from the private stuttering therapies that you've had, it will be easier to know how to use the crutches or the speech plan because the certified therapist will work with you on the particular crutch or speech plan that would only be used by you, right? I remember when I was still going through the fluency journey. I had a speech plan that was designed for me. And in addition to that, I remember Coach Lee, because he was my coach at the time. He told me to be playing my recorded affirmations while I am asleep every single night to speak to my subconscious, right? And I did that for months and months. And now, if I say I love to speak, I love to speak. So I would advise you to register for private stuttering therapy session and, see how that would work for you. Okay, thank you so much, Scott. And thank you for even the confidence to speak up. Thank you. All right, up next, we have Patricia from Arizona.
1 second. Hello, everyone. Long time no see. I do apologize. I have not yet spoken at all because I only woke up 10 minutes before this call for my friend Antonio. Antonio, well done. Shocking. You spoke with great emphasis on certain words. I really liked when you dipped into your softer voice, you played with your voice, used a bunch of crutches. I really liked how you claimed your space even online when you came in, when you were using your hands to make certain points. I thought it was really special when you mentioned something about, when people join you and you notice that they realize that they are not broken. You spoke with tons of passion. I really liked when you said that your crutches are not your weakness, they are your voice. And like Noah said, when you spoke about the pauses and you were taking your time and drinking a sip of water, that was, I think, the best part of the whole speech for me. Yeah, just overall, well done on your speech. I really tried hard to think of a question, but I don't think at this stage I have any questions to you anymore. But I just wanted to say that no matter who I speak to on the program, they are always speaking highly of Antonio. You're always an inspiration to everyone. You are always like, everyone is mentioning how they want to speak like you with the pauses, that you are a master of resisting time pressure. And so we can all be very lucky to have you support and help. And yeah, well done. I do agree with Coach Lee. The background was distracting, but everything else, well done.
Right,
Antonio?
my friend Patricia, I'm gonna reply as I talk to you every day. Antonio Rasco speaking. Patricia, thank you very much for coming. I know it is early for you, so I really appreciate you being here for me. And the good news for you is that you have given me such a, complete feedback that tomorrow you don't need to send me any voice message. How good is that? Thank you very much,
Yay!
my friend Patricia.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Patricia. And up next, we have Paul from England.
Okay, thank you. Antonia, that was a very good speech. I just want some advice. I'm on a Stammer conference this weekend, and I'm talking from the conference. So tomorrow there's an open mic, and I will be speaking in front of approximately 200 people. I haven't spoken to that many people before. I think it might just be the same as it, like 50 people or so. But then on the 3rd of September, I'm doing my Toastmasters icebreaker. The subject I'm going to do it on is my StopStutter story. So what advice would you give me on both of those subjects? Thank you.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Paul. I have two questions for you.
Yeah.
The first one is, do you have a speech plan? And the second, which is related, my second comment is, if you do have a speech plan, go and use it in those presentations. So, so my answer is a question for you, really.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I do have my speech plans. I always use them. Anyway, I use a lot of my crutches and that in everyday uses. A lot of the crutches are automatically. I don't really have to think about it. It's just a question of it's a lot of people. I haven't done that before, and is it just like a normal kind if it's like in front of 25 or 50 people?
Okay, so if you are comfortable using your speech plan, all I can say to you is that you will be fine, Paul, trust me, because it
Okay,
is
yeah.
automatic to you, right?
Yeah, yes, that's what I mean. I come so far so quickly. Yeah, I just try to find everything what I can do at the highest possible point. This is what I'm doing now, because that's what I have done for a long time to find, because even when I did my speech at church, when I stammered at church, when I got baptized before I started the program, I was comfortable doing that as well. So this is what I do find is trying to find a high point, and that's what I do all the time now. And
Sure.
I don't look for my comfort zone. I'm always out of my comfort zone. Yeah, so it's good for my speech, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more thing that I would say is about how to handle pressure, right? Now,
Sure.
as Coach Lee says, the higher the pressure, the more you have to use your speech plan, the more disciplined you have to be, the more you have to exaggerate it, right?
Okay.
So if you
Yeah.
want to say something like you mean it, well, you go and you say it like you mean it because you are under pressure, right?
Yeah,
So,
because at the conference you only get about 3 minutes, and my plan was just to do the silent word poem because that is connected. So yeah, that's my plan.
Okay.
okay.
Well,
Amaka,
Okay.
can
Okay.
I stick in a thought?
sure. Go ahead.
Paul, the the everything, I agree with everything that you said, and Antonio as well, and what you're planning to do is correct. All I would add is whenever you reach a situation that you're facing a word that you just cannot get out, it just will not come out in that weird situation, or you're afraid that that's going to happen. If
No.
it happens, you can always, as I said, insert another word, but there's something easier to do, and that is make a sound. If I go ah or and hold it, I will break the block on any word that there ever existed the second I do it. And if I hold that sound, Lee is my name, Paul is my friend, Antonio is our speaker, whatever it is I have to say, as long as I start with the sound and blend it or slide it, as Cindy would say, or jam it, as I would say, into the
Yeah.
problem word, I will say it, Paul. And there is
Yeah.
nothing that's ever going to stop me. And it's not going to stop you either. When you
No.
make a sound, you break every block that ever existed.
Yeah.
That's your
Thank
fallback,
you.
and it will never fail you. Never.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Okay.
Paul,
Thank you.
if you can speak to 50 people, you can speak to 200 people. Just use your crutch. Just use your crutch.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's fine. Sorry.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Antonio and
I love
Coach
it when
Lee.
Paul was an actor, when he came out and he really modulated.
Yeah.
Be over the top. Be an extreme example of yourself. So what? Don't worry about what anyone else thinks about you ever. And he's doing that. Worry about, are you doing your best? If you're doing your best and you're not hurting anybody, you're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
So that's all you got to do, Paul, is your best, and you're going to be fine. Period.
Okay.
Modulate.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. All right, up next we have Noah from Switzerland. Hey, Noah.
Thank you. Hey, Amaka.
Hi.
Great job hosting. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Antonio, what can I say? Every time I hear you speak, I'm reminded again of how good you can make crutches sound and how professional you can use them. You gave us a master class, took us through the crutches in a professional way, and again, that sip with the pause, that was it made me smile so much. Like that's so classy. Very, very good. I don't have a question. I know we're already running low on time. I just wanted to say fantastic job, Antonio. You're an inspiration to all of us.
Absolutely.
Right.
And thank you, Noah. Antonio, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Noah. With regard to the sip, I was practicing it all week. I was rehearsing my sip. That's why it
Fantastic.
looked so good.
Well, we all need to learn a thing or two. Coach Lee?
Amaka Vish just wrote a chat or something and said, but how do you start? And that's a good question. It's a fair question. But you start by saying any unfeared word or making any sound. And you hold that unfeared word or that sound and connect it as it's one. Oh, my name is Lee. Well, hello. Whatever it is, you connect it to what you're going to say. And then you're under pressure. When you're under pressure, speak in short increments of words. Don't hold the floor for long periods. Speak in short increments of words. Hum through your words. Hold your tone. Think of it like singing. When you hold your tone, you will not stutter. Back to you, Amaka.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Coach Lee. Up next, we have Maurice from New Jersey. Hey, dude.
Thank you, Amaka.
Hey.
And to mi amigo, querido de España, Señor Antonio. Congratulations, my dear friend, on all of your success. And to everyone you inspire. I love your view on the crutches, that they are your voice. And that resonates with me because I don't view crutches as just something that help fix our broken, stuttered speech, but any fluent speaker can benefit from the methods and teachings of the crutches. So my question to you is, as a world-renowned Toastmasters champion, when your fluent peers at Toastmaster ask you for speech advice, what do you usually tell them? And how similar or different is it compared to advice you give to a stutterer?
Right, mi amigo de la República Dominicana. Amaris, it's so great to see you grow as a speaker, man. I remember when you joined, and seeing you now is absolutely amazing. The advice I give people, fluent people, is always around what I notice with fluent people is that they don't pause when they speak. And the thing is that if you listen to the great worldwide communicators, like for example Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, they all pause, right? So in a way, fluent and non-fluent people, we have this fear of not pausing because we think, or we may not think that pausing is not good, but pausing is good. It makes us good communicators. So that is what I tend to say when they ask me for advice.
Well, thank you very much, Antonio. And of course, you were speaking to all of us as well, myself included. Just use pauses and your speech will be great. Before we go to the next person, I would like to read what Dean Lovett posted on the chat. StopStutter would be creating a StopStutter Masters platform that would simulate Toastmasters, but of course it will be offered to PWS and PWSSs, and the whole idea is to make StopStutter Masters a practice session special event for anyone who still doesn't have the confidence to actually attend an actual Toastmasters event. You can start with the StopStutter Masters and then have the confidence enough to go to the actual Toastmasters event. So if you're interested, I know you are because I am, and I'm excited. We are waiting for this feature to be added to this StopStutter app, and we can't wait to have that started. Up next, we have Mark from America. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Amaka. Thank you for letting me speak. I know we are probably running towards the end of the meeting, but I wanted to add to what Antonio said about Toastmasters. It's a wonderful place to practice speaking, public speaking, to learn about how to become a better public speaker. And the other thing that's amazing about Toastmasters is that it also can teach us about leadership. There are opportunities to hold various officer roles within Toastmasters. I personally was in Toastmasters from 2013 until just when COVID started in 2019. And I held quite a few officer roles, including president of the club for a term. Also regarding Toastmasters, I wanted to say for people who might be afraid to join, the people there are very supportive. And especially if you come as a person who's working on overcoming stuttering, they will be very supportive of you. Really quick to Antonio, question. I was wondering if is there a point where you feel that the crutches become kind of automatic, or do you always have to kind of think about the crutches?
All right. Thank you, Mark. The first thing I have to say is that your use of short link and stop is very, very good.
Yeah, I need it.
And
I need it.
and I feel that I have the feeling that you have the answer to your own question because it sounds to me that it is automatic for you already.
Okay.
Now, as Patricia, my friend, Patricia would be able to confirm, yes, there is a point where this becomes my way of speaking. I no longer have to think about it, right? I pause absolutely naturally. I don't think about it. Now, with regard to pausing, I would say that I would warn people that there is a difference between voluntary pausing and blocking pausing. Because if you are pausing because you are but you are blocking, that is not the pause I am talking about. I am talking about the control pause. But yes, there is a point absolutely where it becomes automatic, and it did for me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Antonio, for your wonderful response, and thank you, Mark, for your question. All right, we have two more people. Let's just get through it, guys. Thanks for your patience.
Amaka, we're running short of time here. One
Okay.
more, and then you got to go to Ambassador Siebert.
Oh, okay. So the last person I would call on is Jamal from Kuwait.
Thank you, Amaka, for hosting. And Antonio, what a beautiful speech you did. And I really appreciate the way you use more pauses. And last 8 months, you gave me one advice. Jamal, don't think about the pupil. Just focus your message. Focus only for yourself. I'm a person to think more about what people think about my speech. And that advice helped me a lot. And I want to say to you, thank you very much. And one thing you said at this time, the pressure. It is very useful. For me, I speak too much fast. So when I resist the time, it helped me a lot to control my speech. And I just want one question I have, that is, what is your long-term speech goal, my friend Antonio? Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Jamal. My long-term goal is as simple as keep helping people. That is my goal. It's not about me now, it is about helping other people. All right. Thank you, Jamal.
All right.
Over to Amaka.
Thank you, Antonio. That was wonderful. The goal is always to help people, especially on things that you have already overcome. That is very wonderful. All right. Ambassador Siebert is also here with us today. Do you have a few words to share, Ambassador?
I do, Amaka, but the first thing I want to say is I love your smile.
Oh,
It
thank
is
you.
totally infectious. I mean, I gravitate toward you as I look through this group of participants. It's beautiful. And I want to also emphasize one of the public announcements you made. I think this message that Dean Lovett sent about coming up with a junior varsity group of Toastmasters is a great learning. In fact, I'm going to ask Dean to let me in and be an observer of that. I'm sure I'll learn things. And let me say too, we always credit Coach Lee with being pretty wise about most things, but I must take exception, my dear friend Lee, in your concern about Antonio's background, because you don't realize that he's now a new member of the UK astronaut force, I gather. And I've looked at observations ever since Lee made his announcement, and everybody in the room came up with, look, we see the background, Antonio, but your talk was out of this world, that your talk was an astronomical achievement, and that you really know how to control the space. So, You can do that. You might want to eliminate all that very strong light that's coming from behind your head, my friend. Antonio, and let me say, I thought you were very compelling today. And a lot of it was in how forceful you are about what it took you to go from someone who, I think I heard this right, used to use a different name before groups when you spoke, and you then went to experience 7 awards at Toastmasters. Now that is an extraordinary journey, and you should be credited for this. And you kept emphasizing more than I think any one of our presenters has done in the past, your reliance on crutches, that you use your crutches all the time, every time. And that's how you got to the space you are in now. And that's really, really commendable. And that you also went through, and you used the term early on, Antonio, fear. You had fear. You had a lot of fear at one point, at which point Coach Lee jumped in, and with all the force that I've known him to speak with, he said, fear will die. You have to know this. And I think this is when we had on the screen the young man Scott from Michigan. They were talking to you. Fear will die. And it reminded me of there was a baseball player who played for the Boston Red Sox in the mid-1950s, I think, who had mental illness. He was a center fielder, and he wrote a book called Fear Strikes Out. And I remember my mother was a librarian, and since she knew I wouldn't read anything but something about sports, she had me read Jimmy Pearsall's book. But I thought the whole dynamic today between the forcefulness, Antonio, with which you talked about your journey, and Coach Lee's response when dealing with the issue of fear was very, very moving to me. So I thank you all for a great day, and it's back to you, Amaka.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador, for your kind words. And Coach Lee, do you have any final thoughts, or have you said all you needed to say?
I always do.
Okay.
I have diarrhea of the mouth. First, Amaka, wonderful job today. And I second Ambassador Siebert's comment about your wonderful smile. But I told you I was loving your hair and a few other things earlier today. So I wasn't flirting with you. I'm too old to flirt with you, but but great job. No, I wanted to recall for a minute the Second World War, which ran from 1941 to 1945. And during that time, there were a lot of heartbreaks and a lot of loves lost, and a lot of great music was written. And one of the songs written in 1942 was written by 2 Frenchmen and translated to English. It was called I Wish You Love. And I'm going to read it to you again. The purpose of reading aloud is to become part of the message. And stops can be short, non-existent, or they can be very long. They are whatever makes the message more effective. So I'm going to read you I Wish You Love, written by Leo Chauliac and Charles Trenet. Goodbye. No use leading with our chins. This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy shade glade. I wish you health and more than wealth, I wish you love. My breaking heart and I agree that you and I could never be. So, with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. If you type I wish you love by Nat King Cole into YouTube, you'll hear a great singer present that in the way it was intended to be presented. Thanks for coming, everybody, today. What a wonderful session. And great job, Amaka. Thank you so much. And Antonio, great speech.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Lee. I wish you all love. Okay, it's time to end our meeting. And I hope that you all enjoyed exchanging thoughts with ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. Please don't forget to check the chat room, sign up for private stuttering speech therapy, and begin your stutter-free life today. I will now end this meeting with our motto. Feel free to say it along with me. If you can say one word anywhere, anytime, you can say and love to say any word, anywhere, anytime. All right, lads, until next time, have a wonderful weekend.
Bye-bye,
Good
speech
weekend,
mates.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you,
Amaka.
Amaka.
Awesome work.
Unlock your voice with Stop Stutter.